One of the things you'll find yourself wanting to do when editing files is to move text from one location in a file to another location. Another thing you'll want to do is duplicate text. For example, if you want to change a line in a configuration file, you'll want to make a copy of that line and comment it out so you can have a little mini backup right there in the file itself. This way you can easily back out of your change if needed. Sometimes you'll just want to place the same bit of information into multiple places in a file. In short, there are several reasons why you'll want to know how to cut and paste as well as copy and paste. Even though you may not realize it, you already know how to cut text. The D or delete operator you've been using and the X operator are actually cutting, not just deleting. When I say cutting text, I mean that the text is deleted and it's saved into a reusable place in memory all at the same time. This reusable place in memory is commonly known as the clipboard. However, Vim uses a concept called registers where you can store cut and copied text. Let's see this in action. First, I'm going to open up a terminal on my system and navigate to where I extracted the contents of the course download archive. And for me, that is downloads, Vim class. And now I'm going to open the file cutcopypaste.txt. As always, you can follow along with me now or wait for the practice exercise that follows. Let's move the first line in this file after or just below the line of hyphens. To do that, you would cut the line with the dd command. I'll just do that now, dd. This places the cut text into what Vim calls the unnamed register. Many people call the unnamed register the default register. If you hear me talking about the unnamed register or the default register, just know that they are the same thing. Now that you've cut the text, just move down one line. You can simply press J, for example. When you press lowercase p, which I'll do now, that text is placed on the line below where your cursor is. By the way, Vim refers to the P command as the put command. If it's easier for you to remember, you can think of it as the paste command. Now let's swap the next two lines that contain text in the file. To do that, you would place your cursor on the top line. Let me do that with JJ. It's on the top line. And now you can press DD to cut the line. There it's cut. And finally, you just press P to put or paste the line below your current position. So if you want to memorize a command to swap lines, it would be DDP. Or you can just think of each command separately and put them together as needed. In addition to the lowercase p command, you can put or paste text with the uppercase P command. Lowercase p puts the text after your cursor. Uppercase P puts the text before your cursor. Let's say you want to move the line that starts with one does not and move it just above the line that starts with its gates are guarded. To do that, just position your cursor on the line and cut it with DD. So we'll just move down here to one does not, press DD, and now we have cut the line. Next, we'll just move down to the its gates line. J a couple of times here. And to paste the cut line above this line, you use uppercase P. So I'll do Shift P, and that line was pasted above your cursor position. Even after you paste the text, it stays in the unnamed register until it is overwritten by another operation like a delete. This means you can use it over and over if you want. To demonstrate this, let's move to the next blank line and type P. We'll just go down here, type P. That same text is put below or pasted below your cursor. You don't have to cut and paste entire lines. You can also cut and paste characters, words, etc. Let's move down to the line that contains FI. I'll just J down a couple here, and I'm going to press Z and enter to keep my cursor on the same line, yet move the text up in the view window. If you want to swap those two characters, you would place your cursor at the first character like we have here, type X to cut that character, and then type lowercase p to paste that character after your cursor. Let's use this XP pattern to fix the next line, changing it from BADCFE to ABCDEF. So we'll move down here, position our cursor here, X to cut, P to paste. And we'll do the same thing here. X to cut, P to paste. Again, we'll swap these last two letters by X and P. Now the line is ABCDEF, all using the X and P key combinations. Let's move down to the next line. I'll J down a couple here, and let's go to the word move. I'll just press W a couple times here to move over there. And let's cut or delete the rest of the line with $. Now you can put the cursor at the beginning of the line with 0. Now to paste the text before the cursor, use uppercase P. So I'll do Shift P. One way to insert a space after this pasted text is to simply move over with the L key and enter insert mode with I and type a space and hit escape to come back to normal mode. Now let's say that you just want to copy text and not cut it. To do that, use the Y operator, which in VIM terminology stands for yank. You can think of yank as copy. More accurately, text is being yanked into a register. Here's the language you're probably familiar with compared to the language VIM uses. Other editors use cut while VIM uses delete. Others use copy while VIM yanks. Others paste while VIM puts. So cut, copy, and paste in VIM speak is delete, yank, and put. Okay, let's get back to yanking. So you're already familiar with the operator motion pattern, using it to delete words and so on. You can use the same pattern with the Y operator. So to yank or copy a word, you would use YW, and to yank to the end of the line, for example, you would use $. Let's duplicate the word dupe in the next line, and to do that, we can just move our cursor to the beginning of the word dupe. I'll just J down a couple here, over one to go to dupe. And now you can copy that word with YW. And let's paste it before our cursor position with capital P. Again, as you already know, you can repeat a command a number of given times by preceding it with a number. Let's place the cursor under the beginning of the word double. Go down here and go back. I'm just going to move the text on the screen here by pressing Z and enter, and I'll just W over to the word double. You can copy two words by using 2YW. So let's do that now. We'll do 2YW, and we should expect that double dupe is now in the unnamed register. And we can test this by pasting it with uppercase P. So Shift P. So yes, those two words were inserted before our cursor position. Let's do it again on the next line with a slight variation of the command. So instead of repeating YW twice, you can yank two words with Y2W. So we'll go down here. Go to double, press Y2W, again, paste it with capital P, Shift P, and again, it does the same thing as we had done before. Just like DD deletes an entire line, YY yanks an entire line. To duplicate a line, position your cursor on the line you want to copy and press YY, then you can paste it with P. So to quickly duplicate a line, you can use YYP. Going to move down to the next line of text here and do what I've just described. So YY yanks it into the unnamed register, and P paste what was in the unnamed register. And now you have a duplicated line with YY to yank and P to paste. Going to position my cursor on the next block of text and press Z enter to move that text up on our screen so it's easier to see. Just like you can delete multiple lines, you can yank multiple lines. You can see that the next paragraph is 4 lines long. You can yank those lines into the unnamed register with 4YY. Now paste those lines with capital P. So if I do Shift P, those 4 lines or that entire paragraph is duplicated. I'm going to stop here with a yank operator. I'm not going to go over all the motions you know. Just remember the operator motion pattern and you're going to be fine. Before we go any further though, I want to show you how to use undo and repeat. Anytime you're cutting and pasting, you run the risk of making a mistake. So to undo your last change, use the U command. Going to position my cursor down to the next block of text here and move it up on the screen. Now, let's say you accidentally delete the line that starts with mini. Let's say you type DD and then you realize you really didn't want to do that. Well, simply type U and your change is undone. So I'm just going to hit U and that line returns. If you change your mind, you can redo this action with Control R. And now if I press Control R, it redoes that last command, which is DD, and deletes the line. So in short, U is undo and Control R is redo. It's pretty much that simple. What do you think will happen if we delete 2 lines with 2DD and then press U? Let's try it. We'll do 2DD. Those 2 lines are deleted. And now we press U and those 2 lines return. See, it doesn't restore one line at a time as some people might think. What the U command does is totally undoes your last command, no matter how many lines in the file or how many characters it affects.